Oh, honey, grab a cup of tea, or coffee if you prefer, and sit down. I want to tell you a story from my younger days, back when I was about your age, full of energy, mistakes, laughter, and a little bit of chaos. You might not get everything at first, but by the end, you'll see why life's little moments matter so much. I was about 25 years old back then, living in a small town in the Midwest. Everyone knew each other, and if anything happened, trust me, the whole town heard about it within hours. One sunny afternoon, my best friend Linda and I were walking home from work at the local diner. Our uniforms were slightly wrinkled, and we carried the kind of exhaustion that comes from a long day, mixed with the thrill of youth. Linda had this twinkle in her eye that meant trouble was coming. "Betty, I've got an idea," she said, nudging me with her elbow. I raised an eyebrow. "Oh, this can't be good," I replied. "Trust me, it's going to be fun," she said, grinning. "The town fair starts tomorrow, and we're going to enter the talent contest. You in?" I hesitated. I'd never done anything like that before. I could barely carry a tune without singing off-key. But there was that spark inside me, the one that tells you to just go for it. "All right," I said. "Let's do it." The next evening, we practiced in my living room. My cat, Mr. Whiskers, was the only one watching, and honestly, I think he was judging us. We rehearsed a short comedy act, a mix of silly jokes, a little dancing, and dramatic storytelling. Linda had this way of exaggerating every little thing, and I couldn't help but laugh the entire time. By the time we finished, our cheeks hurt, our stomachs ached from laughing, and I was sure we looked ridiculous. But Linda said, "Betty, that's the point. If we're not having fun, what's the point?" The day of the talent contest came. The fairgrounds were buzzing with energy, kids running with cotton candy, families taking selfies, and everyone trying to get a glimpse of the action on stage. My heart was racing as we waited backstage. I looked at Linda, who whispered, "Remember, if you mess up, just keep going." And then it was our turn. The announcer said, "Next up, Linda and Betty." We walked on stage, and I swear, the crowd's cheer was so loud, my knees felt like jelly. I opened my mouth to start the act, but the first words that came out were, "Linda, what did you eat yesterday?" Linda improvised, "Oh, that's a secret." And that was it. The audience laughed, harder than I expected. Emboldened, I went into my dance move, tripped, and fell flat on my behind. The crowd erupted with laughter. Linda immediately grabbed my hand and helped me up, and we finished the act with big smiles. Honey, that moment taught me something very important. Life is going to trip you up sometimes. People will laugh, situations will embarrass you, but if you get up smiling, that's when you truly shine. Confidence isn't about never falling, it's about how gracefully you get back up. Let me tell you another story. This one's a bit more serious, but it still has that touch of life's unpredictability. A few years later, I lived next door to the Johnson family. Mrs. Johnson had 2 kids and always seemed cheerful, but one day, their youngest got very sick. The entire neighborhood was worried. I remember walking over with a casserole in hand, thinking, there's nothing I can do, but at least I can be here. Mrs. Johnson welcomed me in, and I spent the afternoon keeping her company, holding the baby's tiny hand, and whispering reassurances. That's when it hit me, life isn't just about the big accomplishments or the flashy moments. Sometimes, it's showing up when someone needs you, even if all you can offer is a cup of tea, a smile, or a few comforting words. And honey, let me tell you, a little bit of kindness goes a long way. By the next week, the little one was recovering, and the Johnsons couldn't thank me enough. But really, it was their gratitude that stayed with me far longer than the casserole. Now, I have to tell you about one of my funniest adventures, my first time playing baseball. I was invited to join a local women's league, and honestly, I had zero experience. But I thought, why not? I went to the field, glove in hand, trying to look confident while feeling completely out of my depth. The pitcher threw the ball, and when it reached me, I swung with all my might. And I completely missed. But instead of laughing it off, I tried again, this time hitting the ball straight into our team captain, who yelled, "Betty, watch it!" Everyone laughed, including me. And I realized something: trying new things is what makes life exciting. You may fail, you may embarrass yourself, but each attempt is a lesson. Confidence isn't about perfection, it's about showing up. And honey, believe me, showing up is half the battle. Now, let's talk about a little romantic mischief. I had a crush on a young man named Tom, who worked at the hardware store down the street. One afternoon at the fair, I decided to finally talk to him. I practiced my lines all morning, trying to sound casual but charming. As I approached him, I tripped over the edge of the stage where some decorations were set up and fell flat on my face. Tom tried to help me up, laughing so hard that he almost fell himself. "Are you okay, Betty?" he asked. I brushed myself off, cheeks burning, and said, "Oh, yes, just testing gravity." We both laughed, and from that day on, we became friends. It wasn't a grand love story, but it was a memory I'll always cherish. And honey, that's the point. Life is filled with awkward, funny, and sometimes embarrassing moments, but those are the ones that stick with us. Oh, and I can't forget the time I performed in the school's annual talent show. I had decided to do a dance number with Linda again. We practiced for weeks, but when it came time to perform, I tripped during the very first step. I fell flat on the stage and froze, thinking, this is it. Everyone will think I'm a fool. But then Linda grabbed my hand, whispered, "Keep going, Betty," and we finished the routine. The audience went wild, giving us a standing ovation. That day, I learned something crucial: mistakes don't define you, how you recover from them does. Life is not about avoiding failure, it's about bouncing back stronger, with a smile. Now, I want to share a piece of wisdom my own mother taught me. She always said, "Betty, notice the small things. A flower in bloom, the smell of fresh bread, a child's laughter. Those are the moments that make life beautiful." Even now, at 55, I take time every morning to appreciate the small things. Sitting on my porch with a warm cup of coffee, watching the sunrise, hearing the birds sing, these moments remind me that happiness isn't about big achievements or wealth. It's in noticing life's little treasures. So honey, that's my story. Funny, a little chaotic, sometimes emotional, but full of lessons. Life's beauty is in the small moments, in the courage to try new things, in helping others, and in laughing at yourself. Don't ever be afraid to fall, to make mistakes, or to show kindness. And never forget to cherish your memories, they're what make you who you are. Oh, and one more thing, don't wait too long to tell your own stories. One day, you'll be the 55-year-old aunt, sitting with a cup of tea, laughing and reflecting, and someone will be listening to your life just like you're listening to mine now. Life is one big, beautiful story, and every day adds a new chapter. So go on, honey. Make your days memorable, your mistakes hilarious, and your acts of kindness unforgettable. Because at the end of the day, those little moments, they're what matter most.